I've got drill in 1 hour. I've got to make a 30-minute workout, change, and get on over to drill. So, let's get this started.
Amigos, let's get going. It's chest and shoulder day. We are all set. This is the intro workout shake here. I couldn't record the morning routine, but you know what we do. This is actually peanut butter jelly cereal, almond milk, and recaged. Let's get going, guys. Alright, amigos, as you saw in the workout description, what we're doing here is a tempo of 2-1-1 half reps. What this means or entails is taking 2 seconds in the eccentric portion, as you can see here, 1 second to explode up, and 1 second to hold the weight in the contraction position. So basically 2-1-1. The half reps I included because those will be our final repetitions after each set. Meaning if you do 8 to 10 clean repetitions, you are forced to do 4 half reps. They can be anywhere from 4 to 6 inches as shown here at the very end of the set. First working set is complete. Now we are going to work on to our next working set here as shown. There are 40-pound dumbbells in my hand. I'm performing for another 8 to 10 repetitions. This is the drop set and the end of our work set with 4 half repetitions as shown. Now moving on to our next working set, there are 2 90-pound dumbbells, again, performed for a tempo of 2-1-1. If you guys do not have dumbbell incline access or any sort of means by that, you can use a barbell. If you don't have that, you can also use a machine, a Hammersmith incline machine. Anything to get the upper clavicles and front delts hit. Perform 8 to 10 repetitions of a moderate weight and then drop the weight by 50%, performing another 8 to 10 with half reps included. I kind of rotated the dumbbells more pronated towards my body as I felt this was a better angle for hitting the chest. I then burned out with more pause reps. I did about 8 here. We then dropped the weight back down to our 40-pound original and did another 8 to 10 repetitions with the pause reps and half reps in between. If necessary, you can use rest pause, incorporate drop sets. The variables are limitless, guys. So showing here, this is our final set. We did 2 with the 90 pounds, and this final set here, I believe this is only 70 pounds. And I'm actively trying to get a good squeeze and good contraction in the chest, being that I'm completely warmed up. So I performed about 10 to 12 repetitions to failure. I then had to drop the weight to perform my half reps, being that I reached failure with the 70s and was unable to press them any longer. Moving on to our next exercise, this is a Hammersmith press. We had just worked the upper chest, now we're working towards the middle portion here, getting that kind of rounder look into the chest. Performing 6 to 8 repetitions with 2 plates aside and half reps as shown here at the end. I did have to use rest pause to actually complete my half reps. We then lowered the weight by about 30%, performed another 10 to 12 repetitions as I felt this was easier for me to get a squeeze and a stretch in the chest. I didn't want to go too heavy. I wasn't actually feeling the weight so much against my body. I was feeling it in my joints. So we lowered the weight, performed our pause reps here as shown. I took a little bit of rest in between sets as I was pretty fatigued from this already. Bear in mind it's about 6:30 in the morning, so I'm not used to training this early. The tempo here again is as shown, 2 seconds down, 1 second in the contraction, 1 second to explode up with half reps included to reach failure. This not only engages the core a little bit as you kind of have to squeeze your muscles through it, but it allows for stricter and more of a pump, better blood flow. Moving on to our next exercise, this is a decline bench. Again with the tempo, 2 seconds down, 1 second to explode. I'm holding the barbell against my chest for about 1 second to 1.5 seconds and exploding up. This weight isn't too heavy, but we are actually supersetting this exercise. So don't go too heavy on this. Find the landmine press or any sort of machine that allows you to get the middle portion of the chest. You can also do a plate pinch in place of this if you don't have access to a machine like this. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions per set before we increase the weight. Here I increased and put a 25 on. I performed about 12 to 15 repetitions. As you can see, because I'm using a T-bar machine, I wasn't able to get full range of motion. I'm merely just lowering and pushing the weight up by about 6 to 8 inches. But this is just enough where I can feel a good squeeze in the middle portion of my chest. Again, superset this with the decline press. Once I reached failure with this working set, I dropped the 25-pound plate against the floor, performed another 10 to 12 repetitions to failure here as shown. You can also put a yoga mat under your knees if they tend to cave in or hurt a little bit on the tile. Moving on to our next exercise, rested 2 minutes and performed a weighted dip. Grab a dip belt and a plate of your choice, dumbbell or kettlebell. Enough that you can knock out easy 10 to 12 repetitions, not to failure. After this is done, strip off the weight belt and perform body weight reps. Once you reach failure there, get on the ground and perform push-ups. If you cannot perform strict push-ups, you can also go on your knees or you can lie against a bench.
Supersetting weighted dips with body weight dips, superset with push-ups. So it's kind of like a giant set. After that, move on to crossovers and onto shoulders because we got to get going. We're running late.
Resting 1 minute, moving on to our second working set here. Another 10 to 12 weighted dip repetitions. Stripped off the dip belt and performed push-ups. Once I reached failure on the push-ups, I went down on my knees and performed an extra 4 to 5 repetitions. That will be shown here in the next video. Perform these as strict as possible while pausing on the bottom, engaging the core as if you were doing a plank, and explode up. Try to allow most of your body weight to fall on the chest, not so much the triceps. The reason why I like my elbow compression pads is that they kind of rotate the weight. I rested in between reps here and sets to gain some energy back and went back down on my knees to perform push-ups as I reached failure. Resting 2 minutes now, we're moving on to the final portion of our chest workout, being we have to wrap this up soon. This is a sled push. I merely just warmed up with 2 plates aside, kind of going back and forth, as this also kind of replaces our cardio. Superset this exercise with a crossover. Don't go too heavy, but just enough where you can get a good squeeze and still have some energy to push the sled that we will be increasing weight on. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions with strict form, not to failure. Doing another warm-up set with the 2 plates aside, pushing it back and forth against the CrossFit section here, whatever you want to call this, just 1 time. After this was complete, we then increased to 4 plates aside, pushing back and forth for 2 paces here. This looks about the distance from 20 to 25 feet, so if you want to put 50 feet in your workout log, that's completely fine. Rotating back onto the cable crossover, performing 10 to 12 repetitions to failure with full range of motion, and then perform another 10 to 12 with half reps as shown here, just squeezing the inner pec. I didn't go too heavy on this exercise, again, because I'm supersetting this with the sled push, but just enough energy where I can maintain capacity and workload. Now what I'm doing here is instead of extending my arms full, I am actually just keeping my arms aside and allowing the chest and triceps to contract while walking really slow at a pace, just to keep my chest tight. We then moved on to our first shoulder exercise, which was a shoulder press machine. I performed 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, which I am sure you guys do as well. Being that this machine also had 2 sets of handles, I burned out while rotating palms forward and palms to the side and backward. Next exercise was a side raise. As you can see here, I'm actually standing behind the cable. This allows my arm to stretch a little bit past normal capacity, as if you were to put it just against the side of your leg. It allows your shoulder to actually stretch and rotate more, as it should. Remember, guys, that we want to prevent injury. We want to keep our shoulders as straight as possible without yanking them too much. If you have to do force reps, that's completely fine, like I was doing. But ensure that you keep form, keep the abs tight. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions per side as a side raise and a front raise. Wrapping up our final shoulder exercise, reverse fly, reverse pec deck, whatever you'd like to call this, rear delt fly. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions for 3 sets. Again, keeping the 2-1-1 tempo here with the half reps included. As you can see, I'm slowly lowering the weight.
Fantastic day that was. I spent the entire day in a classroom learning information that I wasn't even prepared for, and now we got to take an exam. Well, I don't, but the rest of the class does. So, but it's Liberty Call, and I got to find my way to my car, and I have no idea where I am. I'm glad it's over. I started going hypoglycemic. I felt it actually right when I arrived at around 10 o'clock. So I had some immediate gummy bears on hand, which was very, very nice. And a meal, which I had to actually eat in a stall because there was no gallery or place here. So I had to actually eat it in the bathroom. No one could see me. It was quite funny. I don't even know where I am.
When I got home from my drill, I smashed down food because of how hungry I was, and I developed such a stomach bug. I don't know because if I ate too quick, but Vinny here has been sniffing my stomach. Maybe I have some sort of a drug in there. Who knows? But I got my Humalog and my Lantus in the mail. So you know what I did because I was so excited? I shot some. Yep, I shot Humalog and Lantus together. I just did 3 IUs of each. I know the Humalog is fast acting, but it's only 5 o'clock. It'll be out of my system before I go to bed. And the Lantus, you know, is a 12-hour, 16-hour span. So I want to start just experimenting with these 2 insulin drugs because with the growth now, before I actually start the cycle, I want to get an understanding of how my body works. Now, I don't know if this is going to be weight loss or muscle gain, but I'm probably going to gear towards muscle gain, not really care so much of how my physique looks. As long as I'm maintaining at least 11 to 10%, 9% body fat, I'm good. So, I will show you yesterday. For those of you actually wondering what happened to day 36 and I think day 23, they got busy, interfered, and one of them actually got deleted by me because I make these videos and these meshes on an app. And by accident, I just swiped left and deleted it. So I was like, fuck! Wasn't supposed to happen. But day number 36 I'm going to upload was just half because I was really, really busy with real estate and prepping for drill and getting all my compounds together and just research in general. But day 37 was complete. Day 38 tomorrow's an active rest day because I have drill. And day 39. What are we hitting day 39, guys? Can you remind me? See, we did chest, we did shoulders, we already did upper back, so what prescription of Lantus that I received as well as Humalog to kind of combine the synergy of the insulins, and this is all my peptides here. So we did shoot 2 of these each, 3 IUs each, just to kind of get a feel for what I've got. Now this Novolin R, you know, it's good to have all 3 blends of insulin. But for the purposes of this trainer and being that I'm my own coach through it, we determine how we look. So the mirror here is going to be our friend for the next 8 to 10 weeks, however long I use these. Now I will be cycling off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, just so I don't become insulin dependent because I'm not a diabetic. So you guys want to be wary of that if you use this stuff. Your body adapts to everything you put it into very, very quickly, so you need to switch it up. You need to cycle off your stuff. That even means natural supplements. So, I'll keep you guys in a little bit of a wisdom for the remainder of the day on what we do.
That when you're around this nighttime, it's like 8:15, that you try your best to block out blue light short wavelength frequencies like this iPhone here, and try to rotate them more towards a easier blend like a red light or something that helps stimulate more melatonin and can enhance a deeper sleep. So that's one thing that I always like to include in my night routine. Other than that, like I said, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Ending it for the day, guys. I'm about to have my last meal, which is in here, which you know what it is. It's, let's see, today, look at that chocolate pudding right there. Wow. This is the
casein milk protein isolate blend I have with BPI, cocoa powder, a little bit of cottage cheese mixed in almond milk, blended up and frozen. That's why it looks like that. Some bee pollen, a little bit of MCT oil, and just a little bit of that PBJ cereal, just because of the taste. It's so good. So I will see you guys tomorrow for active rest day, and you can watch my mom clean over there. She's in the corner somewhere. Can't find her, but oh well. You know the drill, guys. Okay, buenas noches.